Hey everybody, this is Bryce Machine Bates of Team Evil Geniuses, and this is a replay review brought to you by evilgeniuses.net. Today's replay is actually going to be a Zerg versus Protoss, so let's go ahead and jump into the game. Alright, let's get this started. Speed up through the beginning. Basically, Zerg versus Protoss on this map in particular is pretty decent. A lot of people would consider it balanced just because this rock leading from the natural to the third. So Protoss is allowed to give themselves a second entrance to help them better defend their third base as they expand. But just basic ZvP in particular right now, the sort of standard meta game is that gasless 3 base off of a 15 pool opening. Really allows you to sort of utilize your economy early on. Just by not spending too many extra resources on harvesting gas, trying to get speed, because the typical Protoss player is actually sacrificing map control early on just by opening Forge Expand. So there's no need to really get that early speed unless you're intending to do some sort of an all-in. So one thing to note here, this drone actually runs straight to the third and not the natural. It's very common for most Protoss players with their early probe scout to actually just send it straight to the natural, block the natural off, and really just kind of delay the hatchery. And I think it's actually better, and most people would agree with me, to go ahead and just run the drone straight to the third, get a hatchery down at an early time so you can start harvesting resources, mining from there, and then just delay your natural and take it later on anyway, because every Protoss is opening Forge Expand. So my pool completes. I've started 4 Zerglings in production, Queen. This queen will actually be transferred directly to the third from here to help spawn larvae, defend the base, and then another queen will be in production in the main here. So I spread out my 4 Zerglings. 2 will try to kill this probe with the natural. Probably try to take each of the Xel'Naga watchtowers. And as this queen completes, it starts its very long journey over to the third. And on 25 supply, typically, yeah, I will take my expansion at my natural. I think that's what this drone is. Now I'm just chasing that probe around, finally opting to run away. And as we see here, it's just your pretty standard Forge Expand, double gas. I transfer my 5 drones. This queen is still walking over there. And at 25 supply, I'm actually going to produce an Overlord, just to keep myself from getting supply blocked. And this queen, it's very interesting. As soon as it gets here, it's going to spawn larvae. But with this next 25 energy, it should make a creep tumor trying to bridge my bases together. The one problem with this early sort of gasless 3 base is by not having creep spread too early on, attaching your bases, it's really hard to defend all of them. So by just adding in that early tumor, it really allows you to defend your bases a lot easier. And there we go. There's that tumor. Now 36 supply, I should be building another Overlord. Yep. And then a 3rd queen to go ahead and actually transfer to this natural at the same time. Meanwhile, he's going for a +1. Can't really tell too much yet. Possibly gateway timing. And still just spawning larvae, spreading creep, transferring drones. Now at 44 supply, I did it at 45, but 44 supply, typically Zergs are doing this double gas in their main. It's really just timed out to give themselves a pretty decent timed layer, and then also have enough gas for roach production if you scout an early gateway timing coming to your base. And so 54 supply is my next key timing. That's actually when the Roach Warren will go down in order to defend your base. And yep, 54 supply, Roach Warren goes down. And you can notice here the harvester count is 42 to 37. Not giving me too big of an advantage because I had to produce some early Zerglings to go deal with a little bit of Zealot pressure. But from here, once I'm able to get all 3 queens up, spawn larvae at all 3 bases, your drone production should actually just start skyrocketing. Meanwhile, spreading creep with my 2 tumors, pretty much have all the creep bridged between my bases. And as he starts taking my Xel'Naga watchtower, I know there's some sort of pressure probably coming. So my roach warren's up. I can build roaches if I need to, and so I will actually go ahead and build 5 early defensive roaches. Take both of Vespene geysers at my natural at 62 supply, and then re-drone up and build an evolution chamber at 62 supply as well. This is just going to allow me to get that early armor upgrade. It's very key against these +1 attack upgrades of Protoss. And as I run up here, I actually scout this pylon that I missed. Now, because I produced these early 5 defensive roaches, I'm actually in pretty good shape. I can go ahead and build a few more roaches. I'm still droning behind it. Early armor upgrade. But really, it's, you know, I know that's either some sort of a massive gateway timing, or it could possibly be, you know, void rays. So actually, I produced an early 4th queen. It's really important that you actually always produce your 4th queen or your creep spreading queen at your 3rd base, because your 3rd base is so much farther away from your natural main. Your natural main are very easily bridged in order to defend with your early 2 queens. So I'm able to try to split my forces here. I know I have 2 engagements I have to deal with. He put this pylon down that I killed with some zerglings to warp zealots in my main, do some damage to my mineral line. Meanwhile, I'm trying to engage here, target down the void ray as quickly as possible. And so I realize it's just too much right now. I have to transfer my drones from my main, try not to lose anything else, and then use my roaches to go clean up my main. And then once I'm able to clean up the main, defend properly, I should be at a bit of an advantage here. As soon as you scout this early Stargate play, a lot of people think, oh, well, what tech is he going to go? Is he going to open Hydralisk to deal with the Void Ray and the Phoenixes, or is he going to open Infestor? And the way I actually like to play right now is neither. I'm going to play very defensive with spores in my main, my natural, my 3rd, 2 extra queens in production, so that'll be 5 total. But I'm planning on hitting a roach timing. Now I know this was all a 2-base timing, obviously because of the Zergling, but even then he couldn't have produced that many units along with Void Rays and Phoenixes off of 3 bases. So it's a pretty easy read. So basically, I'm building up enough roaches right now and getting roach speed in this armor upgrade, and I'm going to try to hit a timing window immediately as this 3rd gets up. So the next thing I need to be doing here is producing macro hatchery. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. 2nd evolution chamber, just so I can start my 2nd armor upgrade along with this melee. Melee transitions better. I know I'm going mass roach, but I never really like to play extremely all in. I want to have a backup plan, and my backup plan is just to transition to Ling Infestor into Broodlord after this sort of roach timing. But everything up until this roach timing, all I'm really concentrating on is trying to produce as many roaches as possible. Produce another 8 right there. I'm at 150 supply to 83, so I've got about a 70 supply advantage. It's looking pretty good. Have my roach speed, and I'm really just kind of waiting until his 3rd goes down. He finally just brought some units down, killed that Zergling at the 3rd, so I know there should be a Nexus in production here. I'm going to wait for one more wave of roaches to group up, and then go and start commencing my attack, probably. At least I should. And here we go. He's starting up a very nice wall off. Because of all the early Void Ray and Phoenix harass, he actually doesn't really have a good sentry count or Colossus count to deal with this. But even a couple sentries like this allow for 2 force fields. I can't really engage in here, I noticed that, so I want to try to split my forces up, which will actually inevitably split him up. So I split some of my roaches in the natural, trying to just kill probes, try to target down this Colossus with about 5 roaches, and then meanwhile, my rally, for the most part, you'll notice here, is actually just directed at his 3rd. So I know he has to keep these units here. And eventually, one of these is going to break. I was already able to kill a good amount of probes. I'm still trailing this Colossus around, not allowing it to do a ton of damage. And it's just, it's too much for him right now. He's lost so much production, and he inevitably just has to concede. He has to fall. So, GG. All right, guys. Once again, my name is Bryce Machine Bates from Team Evil Geniuses, and this has been a replay review brought to you by evilgeniuses.net. If you like this, you can find this and many more at evilgeniuses.net. So go ahead and check us out. See ya.